Dane Swan's an interesting chat these days. He goes to places, Chief, in interviews that I don't think any other AFL footballer does.
But he is the most interesting chat you will have with a player today because he gives you so much about any particular subject, Jim, that tends to take his fancy at the time.
Sometimes it's football.
It's brilliant. Yeah, it's brilliant.
We spoke to him on the Rush Hour, I reckon, about a week and a half ago, and he was talking about the fact that the Western Bulldogs players Rui got around Mitch Wallace when he broke his leg, and the touching scenes in the rooms when they all came out of the meeting and went over and got around him. These were his exact words. He said, I had a very serious leg injury earlier on the season for Collingwood. Not one of our players spoke to me. So he then paused for a second and said, so the season they've had's karma.
Yeah, that's good, isn't it? They've had.
He reckons.
Just separated himself.
The exact sentence purple he uttered. They deserve it, he reckons. Treat me like that.
Nothing would surprise me.
Swanee, welcome to you.
All right, mate. Thanks for having me.
Now, what's going on with you, please? You look like you're just lurking around. Got the torn jeans and the beanie happening. So
can't afford a new pair. So, found me way to the MCG, mate. I've been here all year, so it's nice to reacquaint myself with it. But yeah, I'm here to watch the footy, obviously.
Do you slide down to the rooms beforehand, or do you give the boys a wide berth?
No, I did. I popped down there. Got some friends here that I brought down from Swan Hill, so I showed them the rooms, and so that's why I went down there. Otherwise, I wouldn't have known, but would have probably not been here, to be honest. But no, it's great to be here, and they've actually put on a good night for us, which is beautiful.
You're on air, Swanee.
I thought this was taped.
And where will you watch the game? Because we know you've got great mates, of course. So are you taking them anywhere special, or what's the?
Yeah, level 1 behind the cheer squad. So that's going to be a hoot.
Are you really?
Yeah, because it's not our home. It's not our home game, so we get the poo seats. So.
So how will you go, Swanee? Because I have a couple of times been in your presence in situations like this where there just ends up a conga line of Collingwood bogans wanting a photo with you to the point where you can't actually sit down and enjoy yourself at all. Is that what tonight's going to be like?
Oh, I hope so, yeah. Well, and the worst thing is all the boys who aren't playing are playing in the VFL tomorrow, so none of them are here.
So you're the only non-playing Collingwood?
Yeah, and emergencies will shoot home, I would assume now, to get prepared for tomorrow, which as they should, so... I'll be one out down there with the...
Have you ever sat in the coach's box? Have you done that before?
No, mate.
Wouldn't do it?
No, I wouldn't have thought. No, it's not for me.
That's a worse option than sitting with the crowd, yeah?
Oh, yeah. It would be pretty tense in there, I would have thought, so it's not for me.
What do you do what Jim does and just get a little private box that's not being used and just sits in the back corner by himself?
Yeah, that's not about it.
That's a ripping option, Swanee, I'm telling you.
Swanee, given your experience and the fact that you're one of the best players Collingwood's had in the modern era, surely you would give a different perspective. There would actually be some useful things you could throw at the coaches in the box.
I'm sure they'd throw some pretty quickly straight back at me,
you
mate.
Reckon?
Yeah, and it'd be a fist or a bottle of water, I would have thought. I clearly have a different view on the game, but I'm not sure it'd help the boys or the coaches. I wouldn't have thought, mate. They get paid to do that, mate, so I'll let them do their job. If they want to whack some more money on my contract, well, then I'd go in there and help them. But until they do that, mate, I'll leave the coaches do their own thing.
You brought the boxing up, which is great because I wanted to talk about that, so we should cover it off now. You would have seen Kane Pettifer on the undercard, one of the former Richmond players, and there are a number of Richmond players there to support him. But did you happen to see an unusual person in Danny Green's corner for the main bout?
I did. I actually did. He was the towel man. He was the guy who handed the towel to the towel man. It was that was his job.
We're talking about Danny Frawley, of course.
Yeah, his job was to pick up the towel and hand it to the towel man, and then the towel man wiped Danny Green. So very useful, I thought in there.
Did he look a bit out of place?
Oh, mate, he had no idea. He did not know where to look. It was quite humorous, and I was on that side of the ring, so I was just watching him. He didn't know where to look. But he did a very good job picking up the towel when the bell rang and handing it and then putting it back down.
Oh,
so
beautiful.
I thought it was great.
We were talking about Gil McLaughlin being a fan of anyone who's got a high profile. Spud puts him in the shade. He can barnacle onto someone who has got some stardom about him.